Konnichiwa minasama! 2025 is coming to an end, and what better way to send this year off by discussing the top 10 anime that released this year. Now, you guys know that I have given a lot of anime an 8 out of 10 or a 9.5 out of 10, and some even managed to get a 10 out of 10. So, how are we going to choose which anime bag the top 10 spots of the year when the anime have increased like potential candidates for competitive exam? So I thought we should take inspiration from our government, because what does our government do when it sees that, hey, there are too many candidates applying for this exam? It raises the cutoff, or it establishes a new criteria. So we are going to do something similar, and the criteria is rewatch value, which means when do you feel like rewatching an anime, maybe 2 years or 1 year down the lane. So it is brutal, I know, but that's how the world works, and we gotta roll with it. So let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have Tatsuki Fujimoto's 17 to 26. Yes, I know it's a bit shocking, but guys, Nayuta of the Prophecy is such a beautiful story. I cannot get enough of it. I could at least rewatch it 10 times. And I also love the Aliens episode, which is episode 1, and I also love the I've Been Turned Into a Girl syndrome, which is the second last episode. So Tatsuki Fujimoto's 17 to 26 is definitely worth your time if you love Fujimoto's works. Now let's move on to number 9, which is Lord of the Mysteries. Now the main reason Lord of the Mysteries is on this list is because I've read the summary of the webtoon, and I know that the story is kind of peak. The amount of detailing that has gone into the lore of the Lord of the Mysteries is amazing, and the anime looks gorgeous. So rather than doing the hard work of searching the webtoon in the internet, I thought it would be better to break my brain rewatching Lord of the Mysteries to actually understand what is going on. And we also have my DILF here, Leonard. So Lord of the Mysteries bags this spot automatically. We will move on to the next anime. At number 8, we have The Summer Hikaru Died. Now, finding horror anime, it is really hard. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't find Junji Ito manga scary. Guys, I know it is hard to make a 2D drawing scary, but I am someone who just does not get fazed by the page turn event, and no matter how hard I try, I cannot get into the Junji Ito anime series because the voice acting is atrocious. However, The Summer Hikaru Died is peak because it takes a unique route on how to process grief, and also it's a BL, so the rewatch value increases. And The Summer Hikaru Died always keeps you hooked to its story because you can never predict where the story is going to go, when Hikaru is going to snap, and how Yoshiki is going to deal with his feelings. And The Summer Hikaru Died is definitely worth your time if you want to check out good horror anime. Coming in at number 7, we have The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Now, this is a great anime because it has great characters and great art and delicious food. Guys, I am biased towards anime that have appetizing food, okay? Besides, Rintaro's dad owns a bakery, and the pastries and desserts look delicious. I nearly licked my screen, especially when Rintaro prepared the cake for Waguri. And we also have Rintaro's dad, who looks like Yuji or an overworked Suguru Geto. And Rintaro is just the superior version of Shoya Ishida. And we also have Waguri-san, who is the waifu of the year. And this is a slow burn romance done right. It's not like Blue Box. And I guarantee you, you won't get bored anytime you try to rewatch The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. It always manages to cheer you up after a hard day. On that note, let us move on to number 6, which is Windbreakers Season 2. Guys, you know how obsessed I am with Windbreakers, okay? It has great characters and there is something for every anime fan out there, okay? Windbreakers gives you Gojo Satoru, okay, because Hajime Umemiya shares the same voice actor as Gojo Satoru and carries the same level of aura farming as Gojo Satoru. And then you have Suo, who is just too hot and is the perfect gentleman and gives off the mysterious vibe and is too pretty. And then we have Akihiko Nire, in case you are scarred from Akihiko in Given. And then we have Discount Sukuna, okay? And then we also have Discount Rengoku. Like, I've read the manga and I know that more peak is coming, so I pray that this anime gets a season 3. Okay, and then we are talking about the GOAT who stole the show, Tsubaki-san. Guys, Tsubaki-san is the star of Furin, okay? And Tsubaki-san dances like a deity. And Windbreaker Season 2 adopts a slice of life tone because our guys have to be prepared for the big fight that is coming up next. And it is fine because I love to see how these characters just interact with each other, and Sakura, being the cute tsundere that he is, finding a home in Furin is just too wholesome to watch. Windbreakers is the only delinquent manga that works for me, partially because it has elements of yaoi in it, and I could rewatch Windbreakers 20 times. And pro tip, guys, you should rewatch Windbreakers in French dub because Suo's voice gets 1,000 times hotter, and I'm speaking from personal experience. So on that note, let's move on to number 5, which is Gachiakota. Now, I've read the manga of Gachiakota and the art of Gachiakota is adorable. All the characters are just crazy great. And we have Engine, who is the GOAT, and then Zanka, who is an average guy, but he is goated in his own way because he teaches us that even if you can't beat the natural talent, then it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you need to be happy with yourself and you tried your best. So the fight between Zanka and Jabber is a special one, and Rio is a badass, okay? I will simp for her. And then we have the entire thing about Amo, which is the highlight of this season. Gachiakota had a dark start, but this went darker, so I give it an extra point. This gets a 10 out of 10, and the rewatch value is 15. Yes, I know it is a bit less than the other ones on the list, but hey, the 10 out of 10 ranking gets it a bit higher, okay? That being said, there is a tie for the 4th place between Apothecary Diaries and Ranma One Half. Yes, I know both of these anime could not be more different. While I love Apothecary Diaries for the plot and the intriguing storyline, I love Ranma as much for its wacky characters and comedy. Ranma and Akane easily make one of the best duos in anime, the same as Mao Mao and Jinshi. Both of them are iconic and both of them have the same rewatch value. So, Apothecary Diaries might be a little too slow on the first watch, but it has great character writing, and if you are fresh out of C-dramas, then Apothecary Diaries is your jackpot because the politics explored in Apothecary Diaries is so captivating and the characters are written really well. Like Mao Mao, hands down, has to be the best female protagonist ever, and then you also have Jinshi, who in his general uniform looks like a god, okay? And Jinshi looks hot no matter what you do to him, so you can gain something new out of every rewatch if you do this for Apothecary Diaries. And with that, we move on to number 3, the movies. Now, the movies, which released in 2025, have a sub-ranking, and at number 4, we have Mononoke Part 2, The Ashes of Rage. Now guys, Mononoke is terribly underrated. If you guys don't know, Mononoke is the sequel to the series Mononoke, which released way back in 2009 and follows a medicine seller who is actually an exorcist, and he needs the truth, form, and regret of a ghost or a Mononoke to exorcise it. And it has one of the greatest styles I've ever seen in anime. The sound effects are on point. When you watch Mononoke, it is the most beautiful thing you'll ever see because it takes you back to historical Japan. So, Mononoke the movie is worth 50 rewatches, mostly because I want to see the horror element in it, and I can't wait for the third movie. And at number 3, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Execution. Now, half of the movie is the recap of the Shibuya incident, so who doesn't like to rewatch the Shibuya incident? And the rest half of the movie is just peak. Yukita's voice acting really got to me, so Jujutsu Kaisen is also worth 50 rewatches. And then we have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Do I even have to say anything? You guys know how goated this is, and Akasa's backstory is really emotional. So, based on that, Demon Slayer gets 55 rewatches. And the top spot goes to Chainsaw Man Rize Arc. Chainsaw Man Rize Arc is perfection. The story flows like water, and the pacing is perfect because they adapted the manga beautifully. So, Chainsaw Man Rize Arc is worth 60 rewatches. And on that note, let's move on to number 2, My Hero Academia final season. Now, My Hero Academia did not hold back when it came to its final season. They went all in on the fights and the character development and even the ending. Guys, we got to see Bakugo cry. Do you know what a big deal that is? And then we also got to see Ochako cry over Toga. I don't even like Toga, but I really felt sad for that. So, if you just saw Vigilantes and just wanted to say a farewell to Izuku Midoriya. Now, before we move on to number 1, let's go through the honorable mentions, which could not make it to the list because I didn't have the patience to rewatch them. And the first anime is My Dress Up Darling Season 2. My Dress Up Darling Season 2 carries a slice of life tone, but I think it is worthy of like 2 or 3 rewatches. And you can only rewatch My Dress Up Darling if you have a boring dal chawal on your plate and you just want to make your dinner special. And the second honorable mention is To Be Hero X, because some backstories of our heroes just drag out for too long. Like, I didn't particularly enjoy Cyan's backstory or Lolly's backstory. However, Ghostblade's backstory is pure gold, and whatever X does in the end is mind-blowing. He initially calls us audience the dogs, but hey, Aizen called us idiots, so like, I don't know what to do anymore. And the third honorable mention is the incredibly underrated Blue Exorcist Season 5. Guys, watch Blue Exorcist, okay? It deserves your love. Because if you are tired of how Supernatural keeps disappointing you, then Blue Exorcist is your go-to anime. At number 4, we have Dandadan Season 2. Now, I know you guys must be disappointed that Dandadan comes in honorable mentions. Guys, after they ended it at a cliffhanger like that, I don't think I have the strength to rewatch Dandadan, okay? So, the same can be said about Kaiju number 8. They ended it on such a weird cliffhanger. I wanted to see Kafka Hibino in action full throttle, but it's alright. I can wait for Kaiju number 8 to drop out another season. And then the next honorable mention is Sakamoto Days Part 2. And the next honorable mention is Toilet Bound Hanano-kun Season 2. Now, Toilet Bound Hanano-kun has some plot holes regarding its world building, mostly because I am not familiar with the Japanese culture of ghosts or the urban legends running around. So, For now, it's in honorable mentions, and I can rewatch Toilet Bound Hanano-kun 5 times. The next honorable mention is Aharen-san Wakaranai. You guys already know Slice of Lives come here, and the characters are too cute. And Aharen-san Wakaranai is one of the best romance anime I've ever watched. It's too wacky. And then we have In the Rain with You, which is easily one of the best slice of life anime to ever release in 2025. Like, this raccoon or dog or whatever Fuji-san makes it out to be is the ideal pet I want to have, because this animal can express its emotions by writing it down. Guys, do you know what a huge help would be if your pets could write down their emotions? And with that, we come to the number one spot. The best anime of 2025 is Takopi's Original Sin. Yes, guys, I know it is a cliche choice, okay? You must be like, yeah, everybody's talking about Takopi's Original Sin. It is peak cinema. It got one of the highest ratings on my anime list. But guys, I cannot have it any other way. Takopi's Original Sin is only 6 episodes long, and they don't waste a second of it. And it is dark. I love my anime dark. Like, I know the manga is a bit darker and the anime could have also gone a bit darker, but this is good. And I love seeing how they eventually have to deal with their shortcomings, and the message the anime sends is really important, that communication is key to happiness, and how these kids change themselves for the better despite having psychopathic parents who just abuse them on a daily basis, and maybe 100 on rewatch score. So with that, we come to the end of the rankings of the top 10 anime of 2025. Let me know if you agree with this list, or if you think that other anime deserve the top spot. I would love to see it in the comments down below. Once again, thank you for making it till here. I cannot appreciate you enough. Arigatou gozaimasu. Takiyotsukete.